Benchmark indices ended in the negative territory today, even as investors maintain a cautious stance ahead of the earnings season that will be kicked off by Infosys tomorrow. Geopolitical worries also weighing on the Indian indices as much as most of the global markets. So if you look at the Nifty index, there was a knock of about 33 points, but it managed to hold on to that 9,200 mark. Sensex also giving up nearly 145 points for the day. Markets also await the CPI and IIP data, which is expected later today. Agam, the Nifty PSU bank index specifically, which had risen nearly 20% so far this year till Tuesday, corrected about 1.2%, snapping 2 consecutive sessions of gains. So again, your heavyweights were not really contributing to the index, but you were seeing fresh sellings in the bank Nifty future.
I was, but the most important point in today's day of trade is that there has been a downward shift in the Nifty's range. So until yesterday, there was maximum open interest in the 9,500 call, and that has shifted downwards towards the 9,300 call, which will, and considering the fact that we are around 9,200, that will serve as a very important resistance, at least in the near term. Similarly, there's been a lot of build up in the 8,900 put, which also brings me to what's happened in the options market. As you can see here, substantial build up in the 8,900 put and the 9,300 call, which brings me to the maximum open interest standing between 9,000 and 9,300, serving as a range over the near term. And this is also determined as to whether or not the Nifty can move on into a new zone, but it won't happen until we see the Nifty move beyond 9,300 for now, which looks like a tough thing, at least in the near term.
All right, so let's talk about earnings, and just as you were highlighting, this is expected to be the best quarter in terms of EPS for the Nifty index,
right,
at least in the last 6 quarters, but somehow not much enthusiasm when it comes to Infosys and the IT sector as such.
No, we're not expecting the Nifty to contribute substantially to the Nifty EPS earnings, because on a sequential basis, we're expecting revenues to remain flat. Profit is expected to decline by as much as 3.7% quarter on quarter, and Nifty and the Infosys is expected to hold margins, but that is because of improvement operationally. But this is more or less in the price right now. What everyone is going to be looking at is Infosys guidance. Now, some brokers are of the opinion that they may not give a guidance for FY18. Some others are of the opinion that the guidance will stand anywhere between 7 to 9%. Now, that was the same for the financial year 17, and they're expecting Infosys to project a 7 to 9% revenue growth and this is of course constant currency dollar revenue growth for FY18. But besides that, there will be several other factors that we will be keeping an eye on. Firstly is client budget spending trends, and secondly, of course, how Infosys is planning to deal with contingency plans in case there are some severe changes coming along when it comes to the visa, US visa norms. So these are some of the key factors that everyone will be keeping an eye on. But on the whole, we're expecting a muted quarter from Infosys.
And that's exactly how the stock reaction today was, absolutely flattish and muted, is where the Infosys stock ended today. But it was the auto stocks like Bosch and Eicher Motors, along with pharma names like Sun Pharma, Lupin and Dr. Reddy's, which were amongst the gainers on the Nifty index. Bharti Infratel also sitting with gains of well over 3%. In fact, the Nifty Pharma index was the only sectoral index closing in the green territory today. Most mid-cap pharma names were also doing well. On the other hand, Tata Steel, Wipro and Zee Entertainment were leading the losers, each of them losing well over 2%. Adani Ports and SEZ also continues to correct, and in fact that brings me to the Adani Group companies. All of them continue to correct, led by Adani Transmission, Ports and of course Adani Power as well.
Yes, of course. So the broader market breadth has changed negative from the positive that we've seen yesterday, and as you mentioned, we are looking at a lot of weakness in the Adani Group stocks. So Adani Transmission has declined by 10%, Adani Power following on yesterday's losses, down 9% today. Once again, Delta Corp is looking at some amount of correction after a substantial run-up that we've seen in the recent times. So Delta Corp is down nearly 7%. Reliance Defense down 5.7%. This is after they announced that they will be coming out with a rights issue of around 1,200 crores. Eros International, JP Associates and Indian Banks among the other losers. We have Polaris Consulting, which has gained 10% in today's day of trade. It's followed by Canfin Homes, Indiabulls Real Estate, as well as Shilpa Medicare and EID Parry India, all gaining over 5%. But as you can see from the kind of movements in the broader markets, that today's momentum lies with the losers. There has been substantial amount of weakness. We will be keeping an eye on a lot of the economic factors going in today, as Shraddha was mentioning, and of course we will have Infosys results early in the morning before markets begin. But this is all that we have for today. Stay tuned in a Bloomberg Quint, and we will be bringing you lots more in news and updates.